Here we go. Hit him with it. Hit him with it. Hit him with it. Hit him with it. All right. I have to reset. Hit him with it. It's because Hunter's not snapping. There we go.
It worked.
Yeah. Welcome into the Bogey Bro Banter.
I think it's been like 2 years since I first said, I think the battery's going bad in this remote.
I don't think it's the battery. I think it's just the
I
distance.
I agree, but
you should probably just give it to us and we can just...
Are you kidding me?
What is your problem?
That was
Who
just
do
a
you
suggestion.
think you are?
Because we're 2 feet away.
Yeah,
listen,
that
man.
takes away the whole point of the start.
Let's
of
just
the
test
podcast.
it.
No.
Let's just test it.
Don't
No.
give it to him.
Can I just test it?
Do not give it to him.
Yes, sir, Hunter.
Oh my gosh.
I'll
He's
give it
my
back.
boss.
I'll give it back.
I threw that with my left
Well, now
hand.
it's not going to work.
Well, now that thing's flippy now.
No, it's not that.
Oh, get lit, dude.
No, that's exciting to know that it's
Wow. Okay,
hope
but
it's
not
restored.
but not much better.
I think it's because you got to get up.
Yeah. Well, I try everywhere. I do circles. A lot of people don't realize, but I do circles.
Where is
I
the
do
receiver?
not know. I probably should have
you put
thought
it
about that
behind the
whenever I made it. I don't know where the receiver
attic
is.
Up there.
Because if I go there, it works every time. Very easily. But if I'm...
For those of you listening on audio, we're just changing the light.
If I'm down, it doesn't work.
Baby, are you down?
Okay, so I gotta get up.
Sean.
I gotta get up with it.
Coming in.
Yep.
Nice.
Wow. Just a wow catch. You wow.
Now that's what I call music. 2000.
They still making those? Did you guys ever even have those?
Yes.
I don't
Are they
know.
still making Kids Bop?
Oh, okay.
Surely.
There's nothing. I checked.
Did you?
Yes, they are still making Kids Bop.
Did we do that one?
Hope so.
Yes, they are still making Kids Bop.
They are.
Yeah.
What an interesting concept. I don't think I've ever listened
I think
to
the last
Kids Bop.
I heard was, and this wasn't like as like a kid. This was like, I wonder if Kids Bop still exists. And I looked it up, and it was, take my cup, put some water in it.
There was a Nicki Minaj one like 2 years ago that was very funny.
But yeah, I would say
Is it illegal? For
Pretty
me to
much
look-
a dream
Is it illegal
job.
for me to play one on here?
Yeah. Be
Okay.
copywritten.
pretty much dream job for me would be the guy who gets to rewrite those songs and
You
make
know
them
what?
clean.
That's a great banter idea.
What?
So we're gonna have to talk
Let's
about
rewrite.
bad words.
No, we just read the word and I'm gonna find lyrics to a popular song.
Okay.
And then I'm going to read them and my own interpretation as a Kids Bop version. You tell me what song it is.
Okay, well that should be pretty easy.
Okay.
All
Can you make
right.
sure it's a song I know? Because we learned because according to the comments on the last banter, I am very uncultured.
You are uncultured.
Well, according to the comments,
You don't
guys
really
told
have
me
your
about.
finger on the pulse.
Yeah, not quite. It's like just Yeah.
Your finger is more like on your like upper arm. Like get it on the pulse.
Maybe that's why it was like 96 beats per minute.
Yeah, you get on.
Did
the
you ever
pulse,
did you
man.
ever like put a watch on or something to check your actual? Because there's no way your resting's 96. There's got to be.
I agree.
I actually saw in a trivia
I do
question
not-
yesterday that's not that crazy.
There's no way.
Apparently, average is like average resting is between 40 and 100.
No.
That's what I
Yeah.
saw yesterday.
Yep.
I'm not even kidding you.
That is it. And I was like,
What does that
and so
say?
Gabby was like,
Yeah,
"See, you're
60 and 100.
Between 60 and 100.
60 and 100." Yeah, because I told my dad about it, and he said, "Look it up, see what the average one is." He said, "I think that's probably fine," and I looked it up, and then he was like, "See, you're fine."
Okay.
He was like, "You're average."
Resting heart rate, age 20 to 39. Poor is 84 to 94. Below average is 76 to 83. Average is 69 to 75. Above average is 61 to 68. Very good 55 60. Athletes 47 54.
So I'm gonna die any day now.
97 comes in when you're 60 to 79.
I'm gonna die.
You're
any
just
day
ahead of
now.
the curve, man, because you're
I don't
wise.
feel unhealthy. I have I can run around.
You're just a wise man.
I am dying.
Resting
Trevor.
heart rate values for men, average for 18 to 25 is 70 to 73. Poor is 82 plus.
I am dying. I think that's what we.
Well, no,
realized.
your resting heart rate's not 96.
Okay.
I think you just took your heart rate at one point.
I'm gonna
and,
calculate mine. I'm
because
gonna go
my
quiet
heart
for a
rate right
second.
now is probably higher. Where am I at?
When am I supposed to take my heart rate?
My heart
then?
rate right now is 60, but my resting's 45.
When am I supposed to take it? Then?
That's why you got the easiest way to find your true resting is put an Apple Watch on or something, and just let it tell you you're resting, because it'll find it when you're actually at a relaxed state. Because as soon as you start thinking about your heart rate's gonna go up.
Okay.
And especially if you're sitting there like,
I don't have.
wow,
an
why
Apple
is my
Watch.
heart rate so high?
Does the Shark Watch do it?
No, that watch will
It
not.
says I'm 754.
Because like just talking about it, I'm up to 66.
Mm.
No, I haven't done anything different. Just talking about my heart rate.
Well, that entire day, I'm probably just gonna have a heart attack.
Okay, back to the song thing.
Just to give you, I realized, just to give everybody background that is listening / watching, I took my. Did I already talk about this on the Banter?
I don't know.
I don't remember. You guys know everything about my life, but we were
Mine's
sitting.
about 70.
We were sitting in a group,
Resting heart rate right now.
and they were talking about
Noted.
their resting heart rates or whatever. And I was like, I wonder what my heart rate is. Like I don't really know what it is. And so while everybody was talking, I just sat there in the corner. I wasn't thinking I have a high heart rate or I have a low heart rate. I was just thinking, I wonder what mine is. So I found my pulse. My pulse was very strong. It was unmistakable. It was very easy for me to tell. So I had a timer on my phone for a minute, and I counted 96. And I was like, what does it mean if I counted 96? And then Trevor looked me in the eyes and was like, looked at me in a way of, there's no way your heart rate's 96. Because you would be dead. And then another guy was like, let me try. There's no way you did it right. And he found my pulse, and he counted 94. And so at one point, it is confirmed that my heart rate was...
Well, your heart rate being that high isn't weird at all.
Exactly. So at one point, my heart rate was that high.
Yeah.
So
No,
I just
that's
got
not
to figure
weird
out what
at
my
all.
resting heart rate is.
Your heart rate being that high, that's not a problem at all.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
your
yeah.
max heart rate is, I think, 200 minus your age. Something like that.
Yeah, that ain't the truth, but I've been above that.
No, I'll Google that.
I've definitely been above that.
Max heart rate. 220 minus your age.
That's better.
If I have a high heart
So
rate,
220 minus your age would
I've
be
been
195
close
is
to
like
that.
your max.
does a high heart rate mean that I'm fat?
No. It just means you're...
Is it a result of me being fat?
No, well, that has a slight thing. You're not fat, first off, but
Thank you.
the more
That's all I
overweight
wanted
you
to hear.
are,
I'm just
yes, the
kidding.
more higher your resting heart rate will be, but it's more indicator of like the shape you're in. I follow this YouTuber, Nick Bear.
What about
He's
circle?
freaking sick. But he was bulking, still in very good shape. But when he was bulking for, he's doing a bodybuilding competition right now. When he was bulking, he was up to like 225. His resting heart rate was up to 52. His normal resting heart rate's 35.
Dear Lord.
He cut, and he's actually says he's in worse shape right now, but he's at his marathon weight, which is like 195. So he did his cut, but his heart rate's back down to 35. But his running conditioning is in worse shape. But it's basically his heart doesn't have to work as hard.
Well, it makes sense. I guess your heart has more area to pump to.
Well, it has
and
more to fuel.
stuff to fuel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
But it's typically an indicator of like your cardiovascular, like your
Either
how
way,
in shape you are.
Either way, I'm not big enough for it to justify having an unhealthy heart rate just because of that.
Correct. Yeah.
There are
and your
plenty
heart-
of people out there who are much larger than me.
I would be bamboozled if you had a resting heart rate of 95. I would be shocked.
I wouldn't
Right
be
now,
too-
my
I
heart rate's
wouldn't
about
be too
370. Right now, my
We're
heart's
gonna
like,
have to test it though.
Yeah.
how do
I can't find a song to do because they're either too popular or it's going to be like last name Smith, first name Brody, or it's going to be like too
Konner,
obscure.
doesn't Gabby have an Apple Watch?
She does.
Just put that on
Just
for,
throw
like-
that on, and then just like don't pay attention to it for a while.
Just throw it on when you get home and leave it on until you go to sleep.
Yeah, and
just don't pay
and you'll be able to track it through your phone and see when your heartbeat was lowest, and then pick that lowest
Well, it'll
number.
tell you you're resting.
All right.
So there you
We'll
go.
see.
We have to know the answer. We want the data. We need the raw data.
Yeah.
What number is going to make you nervous?
I mean, if it's 95, it still wouldn't be nervous.
Yeah, it wouldn't make me
I would be
nervous.
like, you should probably just go to a doctor and just like ask them.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Second
mean,
question,
I expect
what-
your resting heart rate to be
How
65
do I
to
go
70.
to the doctor?
I expect your resting heart rate. You're gonna become. I expect you're gonna come in and be like, yes, my resting heart rate was like 68.
Okay.
And I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
Well, the only data point we have right now is he took his heart rate once and then
Twice.
Took it. Yeah, but you took it again immediately after that.
And it was lower that time.
Yeah, but your heart rate was like the same within a few minute window.
Yeah.
And it was at a point when you're in a social setting.
was-
You're right.
Social
I was in a
environment.
social setting, and I always have pressure in a social
That's what
setting.
I'm saying. So
He felt the pressure.
and you
true.
also were in a conversation where you said, you know what, I'm gonna take my heart rate, which all indicates that there was probably stress around that situation, whether you felt it
He
or
didn't
not.
have any precedent that yet. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, but you don't need precedent for your heart rate to go up.
Well, I get it. Like if you're thinking about it, it's probably like even just the fact of feeling your heartbeat.
Well,
is
even
probably
just
gonna make
being in
you-
a group and like talking to people, your heart rate's
Well,
up.
maybe you
That's true.
should.
Makes
Maybe
sense.
you should just do it right now because maybe it comes in at like maybe you count it right now and it comes in at like 70.
You can also just do it for 30 seconds and multiply it by
I'll
2.
do it for 30 seconds right now, just for funsies.
You want me to start the timer? You
Yeah.
got it.
Do you want me to count out louder in my head?
In your head would be better, I think.
I feel it.
All right, and go.
In any case, so I've got a new hobby on the train tracks right now. I didn't even get to tell you. Yeah, you were there. It's called whittling. Ever heard of it? All my stuff is coming in on Friday. I've got the whittling knives. I've got some wood, some slice-resistant gloves, which apparently aren't completely foolproof.
I'm expecting you to show up to the banter
I'm gonna maim myself.
and just like with tape all over.
I'm going to maim myself for sure.
Time.
50.
Oh my! See, like his heartbeat is definitely elevated.
That's 100.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like it's okay. I just wanted to get that out of the way in case it was lower now, and we could just like stop this conversation completely. But now we clearly.
Well,
need
again,
more
we're in a stressful situation.
Well, right. I'm just saying.
But I did feel it getting a lot faster near the end
we
there
need
because I was like,
more-
oh my god,
We need more research now. Like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure it didn't come in low, and we're like, oh, well, then this whole thing is pointless.
Well,
But now,
because you said your heart rate was 70.
yeah,
Mine
well,
was
I'm so
60
cool
something.
under pressure. I'm so cool under pressure.
Well, no, but like, if let's say all of our resting
in
was
comparison,
20,
if my resting's 90, then I am too.
because like, so I was about 20 something more than my resting. I would say your resting's probably like 50 some.
It's usually not. It's usually in the 60s. I wasn't far from my resting. I have a higher inclined resting heartbeat.
I was gonna say if we were all like 20 above, then that put Konner resting.
I
Like
may
80.
even have some data on my phone from when I was actually wearing my watch more consistently. I don't know.
What if I wore an Apple Watch like while I was sleeping, and we looked at the data, and my heart stopped? My heart stopped while I was sleeping.
You just wake back up and it just like starts again when your alarm goes off.
I'm like one of them. I'm like one of them new Chevrolets.
Yeah. So the last time I was wearing my watch, was in January
funny.
this year,
That's funny.
and my heart rate never got lower than 72. That's where my resting heart rate is in the 70s.
That is wild.
Dang, dude, you're fat as crap.
I've always had a higher heartbeat.
I'm just kidding.
Or heart,
man.
yeah, beat per minute. Like that's just kind of always how I've been.
I've always had a low one.
Did you guys see my
I don't know,
leg
but yeah.
from where I slammed on that tree, Trevor? Look at my leg.
Okay. That's gnarly. Okay, so now if you look at some data from in November, I have some where I'm at like 60. So I guess I can get down a little lower.
Oh, you can
Might
get
just
down.
depend on the day. But I think that's as far down as it gets.
That's
What-
wild.
I have one. Oh, that might have been when I was asleep.
But like that's
Yeah.
still in the normal range.
It's definitely not 90 or 100.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
let's not
I
rub
can't
it in.
help
It wouldn't.
that,
It
all
would
right?
not be like Konner. Like I wouldn't be like him.
I kind of would like it if that was the case. I like to have a little adversity.
You'd be
you
like
know?
you just,
like I have
the
a really
Flash.
I have an unhealthy high heart rate, but I still
You beat it though.
You've
been
what's
beating it for
what's
24
what's a
years.
goal that wouldn't be that difficult?
Well, you'd want to find out because like
You
if
ran
you have
5
a really
miles.
high heart rate, you might want to like your doctor might say you need to watch like certain high intensity exercise.
Do you know how?
Best case scenario, he says if you stay on the track you're going to be on right now, you're going to have a heart attack in your 30s, so you need to eat healthier. That
Just,
would
like,
be
scared
best case
straight?
scenario. Yeah, that
They,
would be best case scenario.
you
for
ever
me.
hear of, like,
okay, well,
the-
that wouldn't be best case scenario. Let me be clear. But I would love for him to be like, eat better, because then I could be like, oh, and you know, then Gabby would even be really passionate about it. She wouldn't let me eat things. That would be great. I would be so hot.
you know, you ever hear of like the horses or the jockeys push them too hard and their hearts actually explode on the racetrack?
Yeah.
Just something to think about.
So you guys think about that whenever we're shooting a video.
Yeah.
No,
You
the
guys
doctor
know
might just
about
say, like,
rabbits? I'm probably a lot like a rabbit. You know, like where
They have really
rabbits
high
like
heart
if you just like spook a rabbit, they have heart attacks because their heart
Yeah.
rates are so high.
You can literally put them like people would try to like bathe the rabbits and you're not supposed to do that because the water like or there are ways to do it. Well, they clean themselves, so you're not supposed to do it all really. But if you try to like put them underwater, it can kill them, like, give them a heart attack, and also like you can like start a lawnmower next to one and it'll just die.
Maybe
I ran a bunny over
especially
with
if they're under it.
I ran a bunny over with a lawnmower once by accident.
No.
I told y'all that story.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
the
did.
baby?
And I brought him in and nursed him back to life and then put him outside and then a hawk took all of them.
Now, what do you mean nursed him back to life? Because
He gave
wasn't
it
he like
CPR.
sliced in half?
No. Like the wheel went over him.
Oh,
I was mowing it like 3 inches.
I mean,
these are tiny little bunnies.
Yeah, but whenever you say I ran over him with a lawnmower,
Yeah,
That
you
does
know
sound like that does
he's
sound
in a
worse than
blender.
what
a certain
happened.
way.
Well, what happened was I was
do
mowing
with
without.
salsa.
I had I didn't have protective headgear on. I don't think. Somehow I heard a squeak when I rolled over.
What do you mean protective
Protective
head?
Like for your ears, like the
okay. I understand, like
I
the
can't
earmuff
think of the words
things.
headphones. I couldn't
Like
think
the
of that.
earmuff things.
Yeah, like what you normally mow in. I didn't have
I've
them.
never mowed with anything
I-
like that. But I've
no,
also
me neither.
You're supposed to.
I only do headphones.
well, I never had.
Well,
listen to
headphones work
music.
too.
I always
yeah,
used
but it was
headphones.
unhealthy because of how loud I had the
Yeah,
music.
but also I never had a riding mower growing up. Are those louder?
I don't know.
Probably.
I used to one time. I used to mow with a
Yeah, I would just
with like
crank
a
my
face
headphones.
mask. I wore like a face mask before it was cool, and it was.
that you probably looked hardcore.
Yeah, well, especially because I did that because we had like a lot of dust in our yard and a lot of pollen and stuff, and I had like allergies, so it would like mess me up really bad. And so I'd wear a face mask while I was mowing, and I would mow like 4 lawns in one day. And I drew on my mask with Sharpie like think about like an airplane, like a fighter plane where it
Yeah.
has like the mouth on it.
That's
I
funny.
like drew that on it. And dude, while I was mowing the lawn, I was just inhaling Sharpie for hours because it was like right after I did it, and I was like, I'm so dizzy right now. And then like a year later, I was still using the same mask. I was putting gas in the lawnmower and didn't realize that I had poured gas all over my mask. And I put it on, and I was like, this smells a lot like gas, but like the smell of gas doesn't bother me. I like the smell of gas. And I come to mowing, and very similar. I probably have so few brain, what are they called?
Cells.
I probably have so few brain cells that it's a miracle that my heart can even pump at all.
That's where it all stems from.
That's where it all starts.
When as soon as you go to the doctor, you're gonna be like, did you ever inhale gasoline and Sharpie like within a year?
They're like, according to your lungs, it looks like you've been eating Sharpies your whole life.
I'm looking at your lungs search history, and it's not good.
Long search history.
That's funny, dude.
That's very funny.
That's funny, dude.
You're a funny dude.
Imagine if your mouth.
So it seems like I've accidentally become intoxicated a lot. If you listen to this podcast,
Yeah, that's the story of the banter.
Imagine if your stomach had like
Connor's
a
different
search
ways to get
history you could
intoxicated.
access, and you could just like see all the bugs you've accidentally eaten.
Ew.
Probably freak you
And
out.
you'd see if it was true that you
Well, the search
swallow like
history,
8 spiders a
search
night.
history would just be a search history would just be like what your stomach has wanted historically.
No, this is whatever I'm talking
Digestion
about is
history.
like
This is a shipping history.
You want a digestion history.
I want a digestion history.
Mm.
I want the history of the tract.
I wonder if my high heart rate is caused by the fact that I've never spit out a piece of gum before.
Probably. It's probably clogging you up. It's probably half your stomach's full of that. What do you guys think? Large intestines or small intestines are better?
I
Should we do a body part bracket?
think it's obviously small, right?
Oh, for sure.
I don't really remember the difference.
I don't either.
I don't either.
Isn't one of them can
Which
like
one's
stretch
connected-
forever?
Which one's connected to
Small
your,
intestine is dummy long. Like
which one's most directly connected to your butthole?
I think that's large.
Yes, I believe so.
I think it goes small to large.
I'm sorry, everyone.
I'm an arts major.
I'm sorry, everyone, for saying that.
How long is the
BH word.
small intestine?
Length of small intestine is 22 feet on average.
22
That's
feet, bro.
crazy.
Are you
You
kidding
guys ever
me?
think about how long DNA is?
No. How
You
long
never
is-
thought about that?
How long is a strand
Dude,
of
if you
DNA?
stretch out all the DNA in your body, it is really long.
I'll Google it.
Google
What?
it. Google
Like-
it.
Length of DNA.
I guess you know how like you know how like a strand of DNA, you know how that works?
Yeah.
Like if you stretch it out in your body, it's like a ridiculous.
If you uncoiled each strand, 6 feet is how long DNA from one of your cells would be if you uncoiled
One
each strand
cell.
and place them end to end. If you do it for all of your DNA, the resulting strand would be 67 billion miles long. The same as about 150,000 round trips in the. But like, how do they know that?
Well,
you ever thought
because
of that?
you can
Well,
measure
because-
the strand of DNA. It's just
yeah, you can measure a
microscopic.
strand of DNA.
Just microscopic.
But how is
you
something
you ever did science
microscopic?
class where you got strawberry DNA? Did you ever do that? There's like
I
a
dissected a frog.
As long as they.
in science class they do a lot of times they do like an experiment where you can like take out a strawberry DNA and you can stretch
The
it. And
question
you can
is,
see the DNA.
how do they know how long it would stretch, and why aren't we doing?
That's what
this?
I'm saying.
Why aren't we making 6 foot long DNA?
Well, because that would not be helpful. Also, you can't like it's like it wouldn't help anything.
Yeah, it would help me right now.
What
being
does
able to
DNA
visualize
stand for?
this. DNA.
Deoxyribonucleic acid.
doesn't?
Dang, that just came from somewhere. Yeah, it is what it means.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, dude. It stands for don't not ask.
Now that's better.
Like, I'm an open book, man. Don't not ask.
That's funny.
That's kind of our policy
Double
in
negative.
this office, DNA.
What does DNR stand for?
I feel like
when
it'd be,
people
not
say that.
that'd be
resuscitate?
funny
Oh,
if like we had some like really daunting, like inspirational looking acronyms around the office.
That would be fun.
Like speak or DNA or like believe, and then like once you actually were like,
Why those don't sound daunting?
No, but like
well,
you
like
see,
no, like
but
in
like
the
you
sense
see
that like, they seem
underneath it where it's
profound.
breaking down, where
And
it's
then-
like broken down.
Yeah, your
you see
eyes
that
go to
it's
it, and you're
just
like, oh, like what could that mean? And then it's just don't not ask.
or it's just
Like,
like
what?
always eat Pringles at night. That wasn't an acronym. That
Right.
was just I was just giving an example of like what it would say.
I think we should start doing that. We need more acronyms.
always
around here.
Eat
What
back.
if I accidentally said like an awful word?
Yeah.
Like fully understand.
Acronyms.
Acronyms, man. What a crazy thing, you know?
We need more. We need more. Like when I go to the warehouse these days and I see like the quote wall again, I'm like, that was funny. Like we don't have enough funny.
I'm surprised you didn't bring the quote wall over here.
We don't have
Because
fun
I think
over
they
here.
like it. I miss it though because I hear so many quotes that I'm like, oh, that'd be great on the quote wall.
We could make, you could just make another one.
I thought
I
about
don't know.
it.
There's some quotes are like covered up by stuff now.
That is true. Maybe they
I don't
don't
think
care
they
enough.
like it. I don't think they care.
I'm gonna ask them next time I see them, and if they're like, if they
I think
try,
they
if I
kinda-
feel anything in their heart that is other than complete adoration for it, then it's gone, and we're gonna move it.
I think they kind of like aspects of the warehouse that feel like a museum.
Yeah.
Sorry, a museum.
Because the quote wall was like a talking point. Like people used to come in and like they would be like, oh my gosh, like they'd look at it right away. Like Bob Giulio walks in, he's looking at the quote wall. Like everybody wants to
We
see.
put that fake quote by him on the wall. That was
Everybody
funny.
wants to see the quote wall. It was funny. It was a buzz topic. There's some really funny ones on there.
Not that many people walk in anymore, though. You know.
I mean, Swanky just did a tour.
Yeah, I showed him the quote wall.
Okay, well at least that's right. They got to see the warehouse. But like that's what we need.
I walked him through it.
How much more fun did it seem like they were having at the warehouse and they weren't here?
I don't know. 50-50.
50-50, man.
That can't be true. The warehouse.
Sure it can.
The warehouse is so much fun.
Sure, it can.
No, it's just wherever you're not, it seems like more fun.
You guys know how we
Was
were
I in
talking
the warehouse
about.
yesterday? Did I go to the warehouse yesterday? Mm-mm. I had a dream I was at the warehouse.
I mean, you might have went to the warehouse yesterday, but I don't
No,
remember.
I had a dream. I remember now. I had a dream. Dude, I had a dream. Oh, I got to tell you guys about my dream I had the other day. I'm
No,
glad
we
I
went
just
to the
remembered
warehouse
it.
Monday because we got the wheel.
No, I had a dream last night. I was at the warehouse because I was there and I was putting, and then Brad walked in, and for some reason I felt this tremendous amount of pressure of I should be here for some reason other than just putting. And then I was like, what was I even doing here? And I said out loud, oh yeah, I was here too. And then I just started walking around, so it looked like I was there for something.
We had that conversation.
But I have another dream I
my.
want to tell you guys about later. Like not later, like on this podcast, like after Trevor's done.
we had this conversation. You can go ahead. I don't need to interrupt
It's
you.
it's not a long story of dream, but basically this dream, I was so stressed out in it because we were on like some kind of trip, whatever, probably a Bogey Bro battle, and we were in a gas station as we often are, and we were all just like picking out snacks to get.
Yeah,
And you
just
guys,
bulling.
you
Just
guys,
bulling, man.
and you guys were like
Some of the
in
best times of my
line.
life.
You guys were like in line, ready to check out, and I still had no idea what snack I wanted to get.
This isn't a dream. That happens every trip.
Yeah, true. No, but like I'm standing there, like I cannot pick something. Now I've gotten to the point where it's just like I don't need to find the absolute perfect item in the gas station. I was like, whatever, I'll just grab this and check out. But like in my dream, I was like, I couldn't grab things that were mediocre. Like I needed the perfect item, and I could just look over and see that you guys were like, come on, Konner, and I was so stressed.
Yeah.
And then I woke up. I never decided.
I don't think there's very much in this life that provides the kind of high you get when you're going into the gas station with the boys.
Yeah.
To pick out snacks on a road
Budget
trip.
does not exist when you walk into the
you're
gas
spending
station.
$12.
Yeah.
So here's what we were talking about Reese's yesterday because Brad
Uh-huh.
brought us the Reese's eggs.
Oh,
2 days
so
ago.
good.
And
I want the potato
I've got a
chips.
list here, this article of discontinued Reese's products.
Okay.
And I want you guys to each name just a product that you think may have existed or maybe even should exist. And we're going to then read through this list and just imagine how electric it'd be if it lined up.
So we're gonna say like whether or not it's worth bringing back or like leave it.
No, he's saying like.
And
try to
I'm
guess.
gonna have you vote out of
try to
10.
guess.
Well, no, I'm gonna have you vote out of 10 on each one of these on how good you think it probably was or would be. But I want you to beforehand like invent a product or to like.
So you're just gonna say the name and we have to guess what it was?
No.
I'm gonna say the Reese's cat.
I'm literally just gonna go through
so
these
it's
products.
a Reese's with a Kit Kat interior.
Just for the sake of talking about them. But I thought it'd be funny if before I did that,
This is Trevor's trivia.
you guys just came up with one, and then it'd be hilarious if they somehow
I just
lined
said
up
mine.
with one another.
The
Is
Reese's
there
cat.
is there a
It's
matcha one?
There was at one point, I think. No, that was a Kit Kat.
That was a Kit
So
Kat.
yours is a matcha Reese's cup?
Mine's
Yeah.
a Reese's cat.
And
The
yours is-
inside's the Kit Kat. The
Okay.
outside's Reese's.
Okay, so now
Mine is an M&M.
Now they have Reese's Pieces.
That's
Reese's
true.
now.
That's true.
Like Reese's Pieces
That doesn't
are
seem like
inside.
fun to me. I don't like Reese's Pieces because I don't like the candy with the peanut
Pieces
butter.
are inside of Reese's cup, and it's incredible.
so I'm gonna go through these, and you guys are gonna vote
10.
out of 10 to
10.
see if it'd be that good. The first
Ooh,
one,
cookies and cream. It's filled with cookies and cream instead of peanut butter.
Okay,
That would be in the lecture.
the
Yeah.
first
Y'all would
one
probably hate it, though.
is the Reese's. For some reason, this was an Elvis edition. It was for the 30-year anniversary of his death. Peanut butter and banana cream Reese's
Because he would
cup.
eat peanut butter and banana
Ooh.
sandwiches
Yeah.
every day.
Dude, I
That's
ate
right.
a peanut butter and banana sandwich the other
I'ma
day, and it hit
say-
so hard.
I'm
It
going to say
so
that was
good.
a 4.
Sounds a little scary.
Yeah.
It does sound
something,
scary.
Something being banana flavored
could
candy.
be
artificial
incredible.
artificial banana flavor.
Mixed with
Yeah.
peanut butter? Nah, no thanks. I love peanut butter and banana sandwiches,
It
but
could be good, but it's terrifying. Connor, what would you give that one?
Out of 10,
Yeah.
yeah, I would think that one would probably hang around like a 3.5 for me, just in comparison to a regular Reese's. I'm thinking like regular Reese's is a 10.
The next one, we've got Reese's Cups, but they are Georgia honey roasted.
Georgia. Reese's?
It's like
Like the peanut butter
the
is Georgia
peanut butter
honey
is
roasted?
Georgia honey roasted.
I mean, that's not.
So it's just sweeter.
It's like
sweeter
sweet,
peanut
sweet.
butter.
I'm gonna say a 7.
I'm sticking. I don't feel like I need sweeter peanut butter in my Reese's, so I'm going to stay at 4 because I would rather just have regular
It
Reese's.
would be good.
This next one is potentially the most fascinating thing I've ever seen.
Heck yeah.
They were called Reese's Swoops.
Okay.
And they're literally Pringles that
No
were
way.
chocolate peanut butter. Look at that
Oh.
crap.
Let me see.
That's
Wait.
a 10.
They're literally
That's a 10.
Pringles.
Oh, so would it be like
they were like fully chocolate peanut butter chips, basically. There was
That's a 10.
no potato chip.
Yeah, that's gotta
That's
be.
a 10.
Yeah.
No way around it.
Unreal. That was in
That sounds incredible.
2003. They also had
That was
them in
6.
York peppermint patty, Hershey's chocolate, and almond joy. They had like different flavors.
The Reese's would have been the best.
Oh, now I remember this one. Reese's Inside Out. It was peanut butter on the outside and chocolate on the inside.
See, I don't like that because that's like much more fake peanut buttery. It's like peanut butter flavored chocolate instead of peanut butter filling.
I bet it was still incredible. I never had it, but it's probably 8. Because I
Because-
like the peanut butter lovers cup, which is like the peanut buttery chocolate on top. Mm-hmm. Love that.
I gotcha. So I would probably say like a 5 on that one.
The next one is the Reese's Double Chocolate. It's just without the peanut butter.
That's what I was telling you about. One of you
So it's just chocolate.
yesterday.
You were telling both of us about it yesterday.
Yeah, that for me would be a 1 because
This
I want peanut
existed
butter.
in 2006.
I mean, I like chocolate.
This-
But if I'm buying a Reese's, I'd be pretty
oh
disappointed. I
man,
think.
this next one's crazy. The next one,
You never let Konner
5.
give his
It's
rating.
5.
What the frick, Trevor? Are you gonna run this game?
the next one is Reese's Whoppers.
Whopper, 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 Whopper.
They were peanut butter.
Have
They're
you not seen
basically
that Burger King commercial?
basically
Oh,
peanut
yeah,
butter
yeah.
on the outside.
Peanut butter on the outside, Whopper on the inside.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, no.
Like
is it
the
a
malt
Whopper?
ball?
Is
Like-
it just a Whopper with peanut butter outside?
Yeah.
Oh, that
Nah,
nah.
2.
I would not like the answer
Okay.
on that one.
Why?
I don't like that. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I like it too. I'm with you on
This
that
next one
Hunter.
looks good.
Okay.
This is Reese's Whips, and it was like whipped peanut butter.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be a mallow cup, but like actually with like marshmallow, not. frickin'
This one
fake
was in a
coconut crap.
a bar form.
So is it like soft peanut butter?
Yeah, have you ever had the Jiffy Whips?
Mm-hmm.
So good,
No, I
It was
haven't.
similar to
Oh,
a
it's
Three
like whipped cream.
Musketeers bar,
but peanut butter.
but peanut butter.
Yeah, that sounds pretty incredible.
That sounds good.
I'm gonna go 9.
Sounds good. I would go like in comparison to a regular Reese's, I'd like to have that like a 7 out of 10.
Is that the game?
That's what it is in my heart.
Okay.
I think that we could have separate ideas of it though.
I'm just saying, like, would I enjoy it?
I'm saying like a regular Reese's is a 10.
But like, they're like those Reese's chips sound better than regular Reese's.
That is
to me.
true. Well, that's why I give them a 10 because I think
Well,
I'd go
that's
50-50 with them.
I gave it 10.
My
I
scale is
want that a
flawed.
lot.
I will agree my scale is flawed.
The next one is Reese's Cups with caramel in them.
No, I don't like caramel.
7.
I don't really like caramel that much.
I think it's like the Russell Stover's heart thing, and if you thought you were getting one with peanut butter and you bit it and it was caramel, I'd be disappointed.
I just
one.
not
But
a
I would
big
still
caramel
enjoy
guy.
it, so 7.
No cookies and cream. That's kind of surprising.
Cookies and cream, no Reese's Kit Kats.
Because like y'all would have hated it.
They should make an Oreo. They should make an Oreo Reese's where the inside is just chocolate.
I want
Oreo.
a deep fried Oreo.
Dude, deep fried Oreos are so good. Hunter, do you like deep fried Oreos?
I don't remember if I've had one.
Oh,
I think I've had a deep fried Twinkie.
That sounds insane.
That just kind of sounds like a Twinkie to me.
Yeah. Deep fried.
Is it good?
I bet it's good.
It was warm with like a crunchy crust.
I've had
and then
deep
the
fried
Twinkie was inside.
Oreo, and I want to say I had a fried Snickers
I
bar.
haven't had a
maybe.
Twinkie in so long. Remember whenever Twinkies like went extinct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a whole thing there for a
That was
minute.
really interesting.
Like people were all buying them up. What a marketing ploy, huh?
Yeah, just to bring them back. Like,
Toys R Us is coming back, isn't it?
Yeah, they have one location.
I'm not gonna lie.
Don't call it a comeback.
I didn't know Toys R Us was gone.
That's
Yeah.
how the Club
Well,
Sports building.
Well, I knew
there.
that Toys R Us was gone.
They
all
went
of
out. Yeah, they went out.
They got blockbustered.
Which is like it's a
Thanks, Amazon.
Toys R Us going out is really a shame because it just like points to how our society is just like kids just want tech. They don't want like toys. Like, 'cause,
Yeah.
like when we were kids, the idea of a store called
Yeah.
Toys R Us
Oh, it was awesome.
was the best store. Like that's the toy
it was like,
store.
oh,
That's
dude,
what we
my
wanted.
heart
We
rate
wanted
was probably
toys.
700 whenever I was in Toys R Us.
Like I wanted to go get toys.
When I was 4 or 5, I still remember it. My dad, I did something good, and like so I got a reward. I forget what it was, but my dad took me to Toys R Us and said, "Anything you want,
Oh my gosh.
you let me know." And I was like 4 or 5, so
Best day of
it
your life.
was a wise decision of him. Because if I was 16, I'd be like, Xbox. And I went through and I picked out this little basketball. It was red and blue, and it was like a like foam and rubbery outside, and that's what I wanted.
That was it, Hunter?
That was it.
You got
still have it
you
at
got
my
the
house.
free pass of anything you want at Toys R Us. You got a little basketball.
I still have it at my house.
They have ripsticks there, dude.
I was like 4. There was no
ripsticks,
ripstick. It was 2001.
Well, you're right, but
The toy that I wanted like the most
could have got yourself
as
a razor
kid,
scooter.
when I think about like all of the things
that's
I
really
wanted
funny,
in that
though.
era of like I wanted it so bad I hurt for it. It was whenever they came out with it was called the Darth Vader voice changer. And it was a
Yeah.
Darth Vader helmet.
Mask that went on.
It was a full helmet. This
Yeah.
thing was full helmet, and it would like it would change your voice and whatever. And just the idea that like when I was a kid, like a lot like you could buy the lightsabers for Star Wars, and there was a lot of masks, but this was a full on helmet to where like it's like I was in the movie. And when I saw that in the store, I mean I had never felt that before in my life up into that point. And I got it for Christmas that year. And what's funny enough is my family has all of our Christmases on film. And I'm very excited about it. But the funniest part of that Christmas video is my brother, who is probably 3 at the time, walking around with that giant helmet on, going like, I'm Darth Vader, I'm going to kill you. You got to turn to the dark side. Like it's like some really funny stuff.
That is
and,
really funny.
That was like the toy that I wanted. I don't remember many like toys that I wanted, but that one, top of the list.
I can think of like that's so funny to think about like the toys that you like hurt so.
I wanted it so bad. I just remember seeing it and begging my mom for it.
I think the toy for me was. Do you guys remember those wooden muskets?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I had one.
But I was convinced.
A little click.
Yes,
and click it down.
I was convinced that would answer all of my problems.
Dude, same.
Like
same,
I
dude.
was like
never had one.
I legitimately whenever you
I had
say
one of
you
those.
hurt for like I hurt for that toy. Like I wanted it so bad. For some reason I just thought like this is like the pinnacle of fake gun because
Yeah.
you like actually cocked it and actually like had like it felt like you were shooting a gun, and for some reason it just seemed perfect to
Yeah.
me. It seemed perfect.
It was
And
awesome.
We would like every vacation we went on, we would end up in some kind of like kitschy like souvenir shop
In
or something.
Williamsburg,
Yeah.
they were
That was
heavy.
probably why. Because we went to Williamsburg a lot when I was a kid.
They were heavy
And-
over there. They had them all over the place.
And like I always wanted one so bad. And so I literally like for years was like we would walk by a store that I thought had it. And I would like be like, can we please go in there so I can see if they have that gun? And we'd look and they wouldn't have it. I'd be so disappointed. And
That's
for
so
years I was
funny.
looking for this. Probably from the age of like 5 until I was probably like 9.
yeah.
And
Did you finally
like,
get one?
for some reason I just never got one. And
Never?
I remember being like, I think I was like, I had to have been like 10 or something. And we're at Concord Mills Mall. Yeah. And there's a Bass Pro Shops connected to it. And I was like, Dad, please, we have to go into Bass Pro Shops so I can see if they have any of those muskets in there. And he was like, okay, whatever. So we go into Bass Pro Shops, and there it is. There's the whole section.
$35 for that thing right now.
Oh, my gosh. Well, there was the whole section of them.
It's not real metal, real wood.
And I picked it up, and then it was like the magic was gone.
You never got one?
Because for some reason, I thought it was perfect. And then I was there, I picked it up, and I was like...
It was a less exciting gun.
Well, I literally picked it up, and I looked at it, and I thought, what am I going to do with this? Mm-hmm. Like, what am I...
Well, when you were 5, it was electric.
Exactly. I think I was so obsessed with it that I thought it was the perfect thing. And then I got it, and then I matured just a little bit to where I was like... This is
you and your friends are going to be like
sometimes the toy. Sometimes it is about the chase, right? Sometimes it's about the hunt.
Yeah, it is.
And then you get it, and you're like,
hey, that's how a lot of things are. Because after you get it, you're just like, well, what do I do now?
Right.
Like, what's the next thing I'm going to get?
Nerf guns had a really big grasp on me as well. But yeah, I remember those muskets and. Yeah, any kind of fake weapon back then. I mean, like swords and whatever. Like that was just my brother
and I got in some because my brother's 6 years older than me, 7 years older than me. So he'd be like 13 and I'd be 7 or 6. Not a fair wooden sword fight.
Dude, Nerf came out with swords a little later in my childhood, and they were foam, and they were really cool designs, but
still hurt.
But they had like little PVC inserts in them to keep them structure. And you could wail on people with those things, and they would sting. And they also made like battle axes and stuff. Very cool line of weapons. But oh my gosh, could they hurt when you? Really
I went through a phase in high school where I was really into like swords and stuff, and so I had like a samurai sword, but it was like a really cheap like crap one. Like it wasn't actually sharp or anything, but I just had it just because I wanted it. And then I actually had 2 samurai swords, and then I had a dagger, a medieval replica dagger that was sharp as crap. Like you could like if you take it out of its like nice metal sheath and it had all these designs all over it. That's gotta be where the heck is that?
Yeah, where is that?
It's gotta be. It's somewhere at my parents' house for sure.
Bring that in for.
It's probably in my old closet, and it's like it's sharp. If you barely get your finger near that thing, you're gonna bleed. Like it's sharp as crap. And then I had this really cool. This was another thing that like I was obsessed with. Probably in middle school. No, this is probably in middle school. Yeah, it's definitely middle school because in high school I didn't care. In middle school, we were in Williamsburg actually, I think. And I saw in this store a replica of a Civil War sword. And me and my dad were like obsessed with the Civil War. And I thought it was so cool. And it was the coolest thing I ever saw. And I told my dad I wanted it so bad. And then my grandpa bought it for me.
That's cool.
He bought it there at the store and then gave it to me at Christmas, which was like a year later.
Wow.
And yeah, and I didn't even realize it. I forgot about that until now.
I would love to own like a legit like super nice samurai sword and just have it hanging on my wall. I feel like it's definitely an only like that'd be a cool office item. Imagine you got an office and there's like a samurai sword on the wall when you walk in. Like
that is, I know a lot of people who are like that, and they're all a very specific kind of person.
My brother used to have some cool samurai swords. He never hung them on his wall. He was a black belt in karate, and so he would use them to cut. It was like a party trick. He'd cut a watermelon off your stomach.
Oh, that's cool.
That's terrifying. Let me be clear.
That'd be a terrible party trick. Then you got
I'd want the sword. I'd want the sword for the irony, but
they should be made out of steel.
That's funny. But I do see that having one would make me look a certain way. But I don't care.
No, it's not a bad way. And whenever I said that, I didn't mean like
you did.
No. I did not mean it in a bad way. I just meant that they're a specific kind of person.
And you smirked.
You knew. No, that's not true. No, I have no problem saying it.
I've been saying Bogey.
Let's be honest.
The person.
If you have a samurai sword hanging on your wall, you're probably a little dorky.
No, if you're hanging,
that's not
the route.
Where were you guys going?
If it's hanging on your wall in like your room, if you're hanging on your wall in your room, yeah, like that's just a cool thing to have. Nothing wrong with that. But in your office, it's a different thing.
I just think you're probably a little bit dorky. You're probably kind of a nerd, and that's totally fine.
I'm okay with that.
That's why I said there's no problem with it to me. I think about my uncle. I think that he has some hanging on his wall. He used to, at least. Yeah, he definitely did. And he's like the biggest dork I know. Like super nerdy guy, loves Star Wars, Harry Potter, as typical of a nerd. He has.
What's the setting where it's hanging on the wall?
Mine's hanging
in his office.
From a string.
But like his work office or his home office?
His home office.
See, like that's fine.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
You walk into your boss's office at work and there's a samurai sword hanging above him.
That's awesome.
That's the vibe of like, oh no, I don't like that vibe.
Why? What do you mean you don't like that vibe? That's sick, dude.
I feel like it's like an intimidation.
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah.
I feel like I don't like that type of person.
It's only funny if you are like clearly not that guy.
Sure. Yeah.
So then it's like
I'm saying
ironic.
like not ironically.
Like if somebody walks in and it's
understand.
there and you're like, have a seat. Like if you're that guy, then
that's what I was picturing.
Gotcha.
no,
That makes sense.
I would
That
totally
makes
be the
sense.
guy
At
who has
home,
there for irony's sake.
My brother hung them on his wall at home because they were just cool. He was a karate person.
You
He
guys
had
wanna-
like one of those like the black thing that had like multiple, and he had like 3 samurai swords on it. But he actually would like use them because he was also in competitions back in the day,
That's cool.
like sword competitions.
That's
Not
BC.
like
I
fighting.
think there's 3 different kinds of people who have it.
There's a lot of different.
It's like there's a person who's like,
There should be an
I do
Enneagram
martial
test.
arts and have it for that. There's a person that's like my uncle where he's kind of dorky, so he's like into that stuff. And then there's the person that like he likes like
Power.
Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. And then there's a guy who's like, I'm gonna be a douchebag and try to intimidate people by having it on my wall.
Let's invent
Also,
a
I've been to
Myers-Briggs-
Japan.
a Myers-Briggs style test based on like what kind of samurai sword owner you are, and what will we call it? What will we call it?
Samurai.
A samurai.
Samurai.
Like samurai, do you own that? I think that's
fun.
You guys want to hear something very interesting that I learned about my uncle the other day?
That's probably the most. I think we may have just named the most obscure thing that's been mentioned, like a Myers-Briggs test based on why you own a samurai sword. If I had to make a sales pitch for this podcast, it would be that we just somehow went down a trail that led to that, and no human has probably ever spoken those words before, ever in
Why do you own
civilization's
that?
history.
Samurai sword.
I don't think we've had a good podcast until we've spoken something that's never been spoken.
I think that we should make a samurai sword that is a mood sword. So like a mood ring.
So as you hold it,
So it's like Samuel,
Get it,
why,
just-
Samuel,
get
why
that
do you
disc
feel
craft.
this?
Samuel, why are you about to kill me?
Yeah. Are
that
you angry
color
killing
shift
me
foil on
or
there?
sad killing me?
Do you still love me as you're stabbing me?
Yeah. Is it a crime of passion?
Or
Anyway,
the person's hanging it, holding it, like slowly turns, and you're like, "Oh, he's getting angry."
Or it's like, hey man, put it. It's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay. You see it calming down. You're like, I can see that you're calming down. He's it's
You're
like,
turning purple. That's a good sign.
that's a good sign.
Y'all ever have mood rings?
Yeah, I had a
No.
mood ring.
I had a bunch.
It was always the same color. You know why?
Mine
Because they're
changed.
fake.
Mine would change.
Well, no, like it would change, but like whenever I put it back on, it's turned the same color.
No, like it changed throughout the day.
Well,
They're
I don't
fake,
remember.
Like they don't tell you your mood, but
What?
It's based on like
Probably like temperature.
yeah, it's like heat
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
your blood flow or something.
my hands are always cold.
Like the
yeah, that's because Connor has no blood flow
That's
to his
true.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my
There's
heart
no-
rates.
no
You would think that would
extremities.
have blood in there from my
Where
heart
is
rate.
it
You think my hands would be
pumping all that stuff,
exploding?
man? Yeah, where
to
is
his
it?
face. That's
Right
why his
to
face
his
gets so
face.
warm.
Whoa, dude.
He has self-proclaimed that his face is the spot.
We're not
Whenever I was a
red.
kid, I used to be able to make my face red. Like, I would
bet
just-
you
I would just
still
go like-
could if you just squeeze.
I would like,
Yeah,
it's like
I
a
think
party
if you
trick
just
that I
like
would
try
do.
to poop.
Yeah,
your
basically
face is
that
gonna
was
get
it.
red.
You
Listen
try
to
to
this thing.
poop, you're gonna
Listen to
poop.
this thing I learned about my uncle the other day. All right. So my uncle
What's his name?
Drew,
Drew.
Uncle Drew.
love him.
Uncle Drew.
One of
That
those-
takes you back, huh?
One of the
Yeah,
most
it does.
Fundamentals.
one of the most interesting people I know, and he's very fun to talk to. He's the dorky one I was talking about. He has a podcast. This just goes even deeper into how much of a dork he is, called Dueling Sabers, and I think that's what it's called. And it's a Star Wars podcast.
That's cool.
And all the proceeds to the podcast that they make goes towards donating books to like impoverished people or something like that, or to some kind of children.
Dueling sabers, huh?
And I don't think it's a huge podcast, but they've had every one of the Star Wars authors on their podcast.
Oh, that's
What
very
the heck?
Yeah, either that or like every all of them except for one or something like that. But they've had some of the Star Wars, at least some of the Star Wars
That's
authors
very
on
cool.
there. Very cool.
How many
It's pretty
views
cool.
this thing got?
I can't find it.
Maybe it's not on Spotify. That seems like an Apple Podcast thing.
Might be. No, because he is an Android. So I feel like he probably wouldn't put it on Apple Podcasts. Let's find it. Dueling
Sabers podcast.
Oh, I found it.
Matt Jarbo.
No.
That was his friend.
It might be his friend.
Dueling
Wow,
Sabers is a
Clashing
podcast all
Sabers.
about
Clashing
Star Wars.
Sabers. It's Clashing Sabers.
Well, there's a Dueling Sabers podcast.
It's not. I'm sorry, Drew. It's Clashing Sabers. He's not ever going to listen to this, but it's called Clashing Sabers.
I found Clashing Sabers. New episode just came out yesterday.
31 reviews, 4.5 stars. Sith Talk 39 just came out yesterday.
Dang.
Ooh, I have to take this.
Oh.
Yo, keep going.
Lame.
It's about my Wi-Fi.
Well, if you
Oh, your
if you're
fiber
interested,
more like it.
if you're interested in this is a paid ad read for your Clashing Sabers. I'm just kidding. If you're interested in the Star Wars podcast, go check it out. Tell them Konner sent you.
I'm the type of person that like Star Wars has so many different depths to it because like Star Wars almost overwhelms me because like for instance
I'm a very casual Star
in
Wars
Harry
viewer.
Potter fandom, and now this is getting more complex, but for the longest time it was always like if you read the books you pretty much got everything there was, you know, like there are some other spin-offy things, and nowadays it's getting a little more complex with the new movies they're making, but you pretty much know everything. Star Wars, you've got books, comics, TV shows, so many things that are considered canon in the Star Wars universe that like watching the movies, even throughout your whole childhood over and over again, makes you know nothing about Star Wars. Like I know everything about the movies, and I feel like I know zilch about Star Wars because of how much is out there, and it makes me very inferior. And I think I would listen to that podcast and not know a thing.
Yeah, Star Wars is something that very quickly you could have not heard a single word the person's talking about is saying.
Because I haven't even watched all the spin-off stuff that they're doing with all the shows and stuff, man. I'm just not.
Yeah, I watched the first season of Mandalorian, and I really liked it.
Never watched.
That's all I have to say about it. I liked it. I thought it was a good show.
The Obi-Wan spin-off show kind of sucked.
I heard all the new movies suck.
They just preyed off nostalgia.
I thought there was one movie. I think the first one that was like the first new one they made.
The first one
was that the one where like everybody died?
I don't know. The first one, you're talking about Rogue One, where like they're Rogue One.
I saw the one where like the rebellion starts.
Yeah, that's Rogue One. That's where they're like getting the Death Star plans.
Yeah,
it's
is that where I'm just gonna be straight. Is that where everybody dies at the end?
Their planet gets exploded.
Everyone dies. Yeah. That I actually really liked that movie because it actually put more. Because I think
it puts more like weight on what happens.
Like it makes you like, oh, that's why there's a rebellion because you're like they fought for this and so many people died. It makes you like relate it more to like America or like it makes you like real life.
That movie was great. That movie was
because I never really understood watching the movies because I watched them as a kid. So like sometimes whenever you watch something as a kid, you just never really understand because you're still viewing it through the mind that you had whenever you were a kid. And I never really understood like why any of it was happening. Right. I was just like, ooh, fun lightsabers.
That movie was fantastic. The first one they did as part of the next trilogy, The Force Awakens, pretty good. It was fine. The next two, like they went from like good to not good to awful. The Han Solo movie, not great. In my opinion. I think those are the only movies they've done. But Rogue One, banger. Fantastic. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little sad for Star Wars these days. The TV show thing kind of helped out, but like I said, the Obi-Wan, they preyed off of our nostalgia, so there was a couple scenes that were pretty awesome, but the actual plot and some of the acting, awful, in my opinion. There was a lot of money to produce that show for it to be that way. So I think
the problem is it's all the money is poured into
the effects.
Yeah, effects to where the practical elements of that's why I don't like shows like that where they pour so much into the effects, which is really cool, but the practical stuff is what makes it feel like reality. Well, and that's what people don't. Which is why I hated Beauty and the Beast was because the Beast did not make you feel like you were anywhere close to reality.
Just didn't, man. It just
didn't.
Was
a terrible.
Beauty and the Beast. Great music though.
I'm talking about the live action one.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here reviewing the original Beauty and the Beast.
That movie Up, like it just didn't. I didn't feel like I was in reality.
Up. Snow White was so unrealistic.
Yeah.
Like the dwarves,
like that. Yeah. How did that?
It didn't speak. The animation just didn't speak to me.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyways, I'm back.
He's back.
Hit him with it. Fiber, huh?
No, Lumos.
Oh dang, dude! I thought Lumos had the money trucks.
Brinks.
That's
but
Loomis.
You're getting fiber.
That's Loomis.
Yeah.
Gig up, gig down, $69 a month,
It's
$200 Visa gift card.
You know what's
first month's
hilarious?
free.
Is
Dang,
this
man.
realtor I was talking
And then
to.
a year later, it goes to $89 a month, which is what I'm paying right now for Chantel.
This realtor
Dang.
I was talking to yesterday, literally, we were talking about internet because I was talking about how important that was, and he was saying how like the area's got so much better than it used to be when he first started working around
Oh,
here.
it used to suck.
And he was like, you know what I've actually been hearing is, he's like, fiber is like making its way to forest, like really starting in like certain parts of forest. And I was like, and in Lynchburg City, and I was like, yeah, actually, my buddy was saying something about that, and then like I got a text from you a minute later saying that you had gotten it. Or
I finally called him. Well, because I went online and typed in my address, and it says we don't service your address, but they were mailing me stuff like every other day.
Weird.
Saying like sign up.
Sometimes those things are unreliable.
So I finally just called, and when I called, they like typed my address.
It's probably your internet.
They're like, yeah, we're available. We're available, right?
Dude,
so,
that's sick, man. Gig up,
Yeah.
gig down.
It's insane.
Let's go.
yeah,
Heck yeah. I will say.
and a $200 Visa gift card to sign up.
That is sick.
What the frick,
That is
dude?
really sick.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna do that.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's legit.
And then they told me, I asked her, I said, after the 12-month like sign up period, what does the bill go to? Because like obviously the promo
yeah.
period is $69.6, but then she said $89, which is what I'm paying right now for Chantel for $150 down.
Yeah, Chantel's expensive. I will
But
say.
then she said that, but when your bill goes up, just check online. If you see any new sign up promos, just call us and we'll match that price.
Dang.
That's cool. Because I will say, though, I have had a good stretch here with Xfinity because when I moved into my apartment, they were doing a thing where if you did paperless and if you rented their modem and then whatever, you signed a 2-year deal. I basically have paid $40 a month for the last 2 years for like 300 up. I don't know, or 300 down. I don't know what it is up, but it doesn't even matter for what I do. So I have had a pretty good stretch with internet.
That's the problem is I only have 10 up, but now I'll have a gig up.
I've never needed up because I just don't do
Well,
anything.
like streaming, the debate night calls, when I need to upload a
Yeah,
podcast when I get
that all
home.
makes sense.
Yeah,
all that
I
stuff.
mean, the few times I've had to upload things at home, I mean, I've learned now that like I'm just gonna not go home to upload anything. But if it takes,
But now it'll be like,
Takes
you know
5
what?
minutes
It's
here,
gonna
it
be
takes an
smarter
hour
for
at
me to
home.
go home than to upload something here.
Oh,
Because it'll
dang,
be 10
dude.
times faster. At
You're
my
gonna be
house.
driving home to upload stuff.
dude, bougie baller,
Yeah.
Bad and
I'm
bougie.
very
bougie
excited.
baller, man.
I'm also redoing the part of my basement to have a little home office.
a gig down.
I might
doesn't
never
even
work
seem
here
real.
again.
I remember when I was.
Can I have your desk? Can I remove our partition and have Mega Desk?
Well, speaking of like Lynchburg,
I already have
Wi-Fi
Mega Desk. I don't
used
know
to
why I'm saying
suck. I vividly remember when we were growing up, Verizon was the only thing you could get in the area. That was it. There was nothing else here. Because like there's a bunch of other like phone services. We
Yeah.
had Intellos back then, which was like a local thing that has now been bought by Sprint, and then Sprint was bought by T-Mobile. So now I have T-Mobile. Long way around that. But anyways, Verizon was the only internet provider.
You have T-Mobile?
Yeah. Well, I had Sprint, and Sprint and T-Mobile merged.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I just found out when my wife had to change her SIM card. And then you can do an eSIM card. Her phone is operating with no SIM card in it right now.
What?
Yeah, I don't
That
understand
doesn't
that.
make sense.
Yeah,
to
they're
me.
moving away from those.
Yeah, I called them. And they're like, "You should have got a SIM card in the mail." I was like, "No, we didn't." I thought it was a scam call when they called us, so I called them, and I was like, "No, we didn't get a SIM card in the mail." Like I didn't realize it was a legit call. I hung up on the last person that called me because it seemed like they were starting to ask for information I didn't feel like y'all needed. They're like, "No, that was from us, but if you didn't get a SIM card, that's okay. We can just do an eSIM. Do you have the phone with you?" I was like, "A what?" She's like, "You don't need a SIM card." I was like,
How did a phone work, though?
yeah, but how am I gonna get service?
But how do I make the phone work?
It's back to our conversation the other day. I don't know how this thing works.
How does?
How does anything work? Anyways,
That wasn't T-Mobile,
Verizon. My dad, I vividly remember we had 1 megabyte down. No telling what the up was. We had 1 megabyte down, and my brother and I were trying to play video games online. It was like the beginning of that era, and we were like, "Dad, we have to have faster Wi-Fi. Like we're lagging like crazy. People are just killing us left and right. We gotta have better Wi-Fi." And so my dad was like, "It's gonna cost me like twice as much to upgrade to 5 megabyte down." And we're like, 5 megabyte? That'd be crazy, Dad. Like that's all we need. Like so for Christmas, I think it was, he like told my brother and I, well, part of your Christmas is I upgraded the Wi-Fi to 5 megabyte down. And we were like, what? Wow. 1.5 is what we're getting. And we called Verizon. They're like, well, that's just the fastest we can get to you. My dad's like, I'm paying for 5. And they're like, we understand, but we can't get you anything faster. But there was no other option in the area. So it wasn't like they had any competition.
We're paying for we're paying for like 50 up and 150 down, or something like that. Or no, it's more than 150 down. It's we're paying for very high Wi-Fi because I remember looking at it and be like, dang, that's like pretty aggressive. Nowhere close. Absolutely nowhere close.
I get what I pay for with Chantel, which is good. I get the 10 up and I get 150 down.
I've never had a problem with our internet, but like I said, we mostly just stream on it. That's pretty much it, and it does that fine. But I do remember like downloading games on Steam back in the day, and if I was getting like 3 to 5 megs down, that was a good day.
It also was always a fun time when you had dial-up, and I don't know if we ever...
I never had dial-up.
I don't know if I ever had dial-up. I definitely had a lot of friends that had dial-up, so I definitely experienced
I think
dial-up
we've had
a
this
lot.
conversation before where we were like, Hunter, there's no way you had dial-up.
We have had this conversation before.
No,
Yeah.
but anyways, it would
Because
always
we
suck
looked
when
it
you're
up,
playing
and we
on
looked
video
when
games.
dial-up kind of stopped, and it made sense.
Yeah.
No, that was with floppy disks too. I think.
Yeah.
We've had this conversation like 3
Because you'd be
times.
playing games. Y'all forget I'm older than y'all.
Hunter's a time traveler. We always forget that.
I'd be playing games, and you'd be like, out of nowhere, Wi-Fi go. I'd be like, get off the freaking phone. I mean, just why was that a thing? The landline cut your Wi-Fi. Like, what world were we
One
living in?
quarter- at a
Listen,
time,
man,
man.
I don't understand internet. What is it? What is
My
the internet?
mom,
Think
back
about
in the
that for
day-
a second. What is the internet?
I don't want to butcher this. I'm pretty sure when my mom first started working, she worked for my dad for a little bit. No. It was a client of theirs. My mom was working for my dad, and one of their clients had one of the like phone switcher boards. So like,
Yeah.
you
Like
had to
where you
unplug the
unplug,
line
like,
and plug in the next line.
Yeah.
To like switch
That's
phone
crazy.
calls. That was what they had as like the receptionist. And whoever they were there to meet with or something, I forget the story, but someone refused to talk to them and they were supposed to meet.
Uh-huh.
And so my mom is not a super confrontational person. So she went back to the car and they were just going to drive home from DC. But whoever she was with stayed in there and came out. She had ripped it out off the wall.
What?
Their phone switcher. It came outside with it. It was like, drive. And my mom didn't drive. So they just walked back in. They got to meet with the person they were supposed to meet with. It worked.
Oh my god!
Because their phones were down until
that is
farther notice.
not where I thought that story was going.
Yeah, I don't remember any of the scenario or situation around why that
Dang.
happened, but I just remember my mom like was defeated, like we're going home, and then whoever she was with just said nope.
That's basically the plot of Baby Driver. right
My
there.
friend, that reminded me of a story. My friend Caleb, his dad was like, his dad is incredible. His parents are incredible people, very very sweet people. Love them. They were like second parents to me growing up. But way back in the day, like whenever his dad was like 18, he was like a little bit of a different person, and literally stereotypical hippie. Like he
Heck yeah.
was a hippie. Still basically is a hippie, but like not like sketchy hippie. But back in the day, he was like just a straight up hippie, like as hippie as it got. And he was dating this girl that was younger than him. He was 18 and I think she was 17. And they decided that they were going to, I can't remember where they were living at the time, but they decided them and like a couple of their friends were going to like run away together and like drive to California and live in California. So like the most hippie story you've ever heard. And well, her parents found out and called the police on them, and they viewed it as him kidnapping her. So
Wow.
they sent like the police after him and the rest of them. Oh, they were in the car. They drove the car into a ditch or something, and the police were after them. So they were just taking off across like a field, like trying to run away. And it's so funny to hear him say the story because the exact quote the police officer said was, "You better stop right there, boy, or I'm gonna shoot you right in that peace sign on the back of your jacket."
Wow.
Oh my god.
Did he get arrested?
Yeah. Well, he got arrested. I don't know what happened
didn't go
after
to jail
that.
or anything, no?
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's
But
crazy.
it's just, I just love that phrase of "You better stop right there, boy. I'm gonna shoot you right in the peace sign on the back of your jacket."
That's insane.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
What
right.
an intense way to end the banter.
Yeah. Wow. I really just thought it was funny, but it was much more intense than I remembered it being.
That is pretty intense.
All right, here we go. Let's do. You guys choose. You want to do a sound of a heartbeat or a sound of a lightsaber?
Let's do a heartbeat.
Okay.
I feel like we've done a lightsaber before.
I think
Have
so.
we?
I feel like we have. I'll do Konner's heartbeat. Oh, I gotta think. You never know how these sounds. You never know how these sounds.
the
Well, I was
best
trying to think
part
like
is you never know.
it goes like lub dub, a heart rate.
Here, you got time to think. I'll do mine. And this is mine.
No, dude.
I asked Liz to do the machine gun sound.
Yeah.
She did it.
Oh.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I gotta
Luca
ask
also
Abby.
did it.
Oh, that's good. That's
So 2 for 2.
good. Train them up, you know. That was
That's
incredible.
perfect. That's perfect.
So
Thank you.
smart.
I
With
think
my
it was
mouth.
even.
That was with my mouth.
I think if
with
you
his
would
mouth.
hear it through my headphones where it's got like compression stuff on it, it's even better.
Okay, now I'll do Connor's.
Imagine all day. How exhausting.
What if I had a
is
heart
that?
attack right now?
Be sick.
I think
I
you were
just
stressing me
increased- I
out
just
so
increased
much.
everyone's heart rate to listen to
Yeah,
that.
that freaked
You're
me
welcome,
out.
America.
That sounds.
Sync your heart rates.
Oh, mine doesn't do it at all.
Why? Where do you do